Hey, what is going on? Thanks for stopping back by the channel. This is Kix Reacts. I am Kix, and today we're going to be checking out patriotism. What is it? Is it important? I don't know. Let's find out. By the way, I need your help. I really do need you to hit that subscribe button. As you can see, I'm on the road to 3,000 subscribers. I've got 2,041 subs. Do me that huge solid. Hit that button. But let's figure this out. Patriotism. Is it important?
What kind of future will the United States have if young Americans are taught to have contempt for their country? To say the least, it's not a happy prospect. Yet from all accounts, that's exactly what's happening.
You know, he's right. Everywhere we look, we're being told how horrible America is, how dangerous America is, how anti-accepting America is. And I don't necessarily think that's true. I think that is just gaslighting to make people scared, because when people are scared or angry, you can control them. And that's kind of the whole situation. I don't care what side you're on. I don't care what you listen to on social media or mainstream media. All you hear is how horrible one side is or the other, how horrible it is to live in this country. And when you don't like where you're at, it's easy to just hate. Honestly, if you have no pride in where you live, you're not going to take care of it. Let's be honest.
Ask sixth graders what they know about George Washington, and they're likely to answer he owned slaves. Well, that's true. It's only one part of Washington's story. The full story, of course, is that America's first president was one of the great men of his age.
Okay, real quick, before we get too deep into this. Yes, the United States has made some very bad decisions in our history. But if you look at the globe as a whole, every country has made mistakes in their history. You learn from those mistakes and you move forward. This sounds crazy. I know a lot of people aren't going to believe what I say. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate in the comments. But when I was growing up in the 70s and the 80s, there wasn't so much talk of race issues. There wasn't this whole concept of America is a racist country. It just wasn't a thing. We moved forward. We were moving forward. You didn't talk about race. You accepted people for who they are. You judged a person on their character, not what they look like. And now we fast forward to present day, and all we're being told is it's about how you look. We're going backwards. And is that because we don't have patriotism anymore? I don't know. Let's see.
Universally admired for his bravery, integrity, and visionary leadership, Washington was a remarkable man, but only one of many remarkable individuals throughout American history. This was once taken for granted. Now it's barely acknowledged. For someone who's admired America from afar and has now made it my home, I find this very troubling. I've always considered Americans' deep love for their country, their patriotism, to be not only part of their charm, but a major reason for America's success. Now I see that patriotism being undermined in, of all places, America's classrooms. The 1619 Project, for example, which contends that America was conceived in racism in 1619 rather than in freedom in 1776, is taught in over 4,500 schools.
Okay, let's talk about 1619 for a minute. In 1619, a boat brought Africans to the United States. That is true. But in 1619, the United States used an indentured servant format, which means that those men brought over in 1619 were signed into an indentured servant contract. And 7 years after they did their servitude, they were free. They were released and became free people. So no, you can't say 1619 is when slavery started, because that's technically not true. And the fact that that's what they're teaching, it's disheartening at best.
Instead of teaching young Americans to revere their country, The left-leaning educational establishment seems bent on teaching them to be ashamed of it. Are they succeeding? From what I've seen, patriotism still thrives in much of the country, especially in the South. You can feel it under 1,000 Friday night football lights as the crowd rises for the Star-Spangled Banner. You can sense it in every small-town parade on the 4th of July. But there's no question that this patriotism is fading. In fact, in many places, it's disappearing altogether. Okay, you say. So what? Why is this such a big deal? Because patriotism is the glue that holds America together. To love America is to love the values it stands for. Above all, freedom. The value for which America, more than any country in history, has been known. Freedom of speech. Freedom to practice the religion of one's choice. Freedom to pursue one's own interests with the minimum of government interference. These are the values that unite Americans, not ethnicity, skin color, or anything else.
Do we have those freedoms? I mean, some of us will say, yeah, we have them. Others will say, absolutely not, we don't. I think when it comes right down to it, we have forms of those freedoms. Freedom of speech. Yes, by law, you can say whatever you want, however you want. As a matter of fact, we became a country based on propaganda. Benjamin Franklin was in France, and he was telling actual bold-faced lies representing how we were doing in our battle against England. And he was doing it because he needed the French to come help us. So he used his freedom to say whatever he wants to get us the aid we needed. And when I was growing up, that was a thing. Politicians, they all lied. They still do. But now we get to pick and choose and decide what's true, what's not true, because, well, we don't need to think for ourselves. It's told to us by whichever side of the propaganda machine we listen to. And it's sad. Do you have the freedom to pursue happiness? No, I don't think so. I mean, yes, technically you do, but no, because there's always somebody who thinks their opinion of how you need to live your life is better than your own. And that goes against our core values. It happens all the time. And it's true. Patriotism in this country is disappearing.
These are the values that have made America a magnet for the world. Ronald Reagan once observed that you can live in France but never become a Frenchman, or in Turkey or Japan without ever becoming Turkish or Japanese. But anyone from any corner of the world can come to live in the United States and become an American. That's because America's about a set of ideas. To me, a Brit, this feels like magic. But the magic only works if you buy into these ideas. To do so makes you a patriot. But if America loses that
Okay, so to be a patriot, you have to truly believe in the values that this country was founded on. I'm going to take it even farther. As a patriot, or as an American, if you want to come here from another country and become a citizen, great. Follow the law, do it the right way. But once you become a citizen, you're an American. You shouldn't be flying the flags of the other countries that you just came from, because guess what? You left there for a reason. You came here to become an American. Embrace it. And you know, a lot of immigrants believe that. They believe what I'm saying, and they're like, no, I am no longer French. I'm an American. But unfortunately, we have leaders who don't think the same. You can go to the Capitol in Washington, D.C., and you can walk the halls, and you will see representations of other countries because there's flags flying all over in front of independent congressmen and senators' offices that are not American. If you're representing the United States, then represent the United States. Don't have flags from other countries flying in front of your office. That just makes no sense. Because at that point, whose interest do you actually have? Who are you looking out for? Us or them? Ask yourself, do you think it's okay? Let me know in the comments. Do you agree that a congressman or a senator can fly another country's flag in our capital? Let me know.
Patriotic spirit? Well, if that happens, Americans will stop thinking of themselves as individual citizens united by a common set of values and begin to define themselves in terms of their race, ethnicity, religion, or some other designation.
That happens. That happens all the time. You hear it pushed all the time. Everything is now based upon individual classes, individual groups. At the end of the day, we are all American. That's the one thing that levels the playing field. We need to stop allowing politicians to divide us. We need to stop letting mouthpieces for one party or another to divide us for no reason. We're American, and if we all follow the same values, this country will be great.
America would soon start to resemble the places its immigrants once fled. Over here would soon become little different from over there. Am I suggesting that America's perfect or even close to it? No one's ever made that claim. But before you judge the United States too harshly, you should compare its history with the likes of Germany, Russia, or China, or any country in Africa or South America for that matter. From that perspective, America looks pretty good. And the closer you look, the better America looks. 3 times in the 20th century, America helped rescue the world. In the First World War against German militarism, in the Second World War against the Nazis and the Japanese Empire, and in the Cold War by defeating Soviet communism. The left often rages against American imperialism. That's nonsense. The United States has had the power to plant its flag almost anywhere on Earth. But what did it do instead? It planted its flag on the moon. People often think of Americans as being boorishly self-confident, but I find them to be quite humble. Yes, Americans love to loudly celebrate their patriotic holidays, but perhaps the most important day in the American calendar marks neither victories nor battles. It's Thanksgiving, the day set aside for national gratitude. For good reason. Everyone living in the land of the free and the home of the brave, indeed any American with common sense, has so much to be grateful for, whenever and by whatever means their ancestors arrived. They're all the beneficiaries of the hard work and good choices made by those who came before them. Choices like declaring independence, setting up a constitutional republic, ending slavery and fighting fascism and communism. That's what should be taught in our schools. We need to foster a love of America, not contempt for America, if we want to keep America.
I agree 100%. We need to get back to where being an American means something. Being an American means more than your ethnicity. Being an American means more than the country you came from or your ancestors came from. America first is good for everybody, in my opinion. Let me know in the comments, do you agree with that or not?
I'm Douglas Carswell, president of the Mississippi Center for Public Policy for Prager University.
All right, there you go. That was a great video. And I agree. I agree with everything that they said in that video. We need to stop letting our government officials divide us. We need to stop letting our school systems teach that being an American is in some way a bad thing. When we live here, you wouldn't live in your home and let people come in and talk junk about where you live and talk about how horrible your house is. You definitely wouldn't let anyone who lives in your home do that. America's our home. We need patriotism because that's the glue that keeps us together. And if you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much. If something I said triggered you, please drop it in the comments. I don't want arguments in my comments, but I do want to know what you think because it's important to me. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button and you feel like, hey, this is the kind of stuff that I like, please, by all means, hit that thing for me. Until next time, I am Kicks. Thanks for watching.